fiction or non-fiction? That's the question. ده عنوان درس النهارده. معاكم مسز منى علي، مدرسه لغه انجليزيه لاكثر من 10 سنوات. درست في الناشونال اند اي جي سكولز، واتمنى الحلقات دي تعجبكم. الحلقات دي لمين؟ الحلقات دي زي ما احنا قلنا المره اللي فاتت لاي بيرنت بيشرح لاولاده انجلش في البيت، او لاي تيتشر محتاج someone just to help، يعني يديك ايدياز جديده او some resources تساعد في تحضير الدرس. قبل ما ابتدي بقى في الدرس، انا جالي سؤالين بخصوص الحلقه بتاعت المره اللي فاتت. اول سؤال، انت الدرس ده لايه؟ لناشونال ولا اي جي؟ هقول لك الاثنين. ازاي؟ اي جي هو فعلا احنا بنشرحه بالشكل ده، بناخد هو ذا اوثرز بيربس، وبناخد الجانرا والحاجات دي كلها بنقدمها فعلا للاولاد. اما لو ناشونال فضمنيا بياخدوها، لكن مش بتتشرح بالشكل اللي انا شرحته دوت. لكن انا كتيتشر او كبيرنت لازم ابقى فاهم انا بدي ايه وبدرس ايه. يعني انا وانا بدرس لابني في جريد 6 لقيت ان هو بياخد فعلا فيكشن، نون فيكشن، بوتري، وكمان خد حتى الابيك، يعني حاجه اعلى كمان. هو ما كانش فاهم قوي الدنيا ايه، بس طبعا يعني شرحت له اكيد الحاجات دي. طب السؤال الثاني قال لي طب المراحل اللي انا شرحتيه ده ايه؟ اللي انا شرحته باوربوينت، والتوبيك نفسه لاي مرحله لازم كل مره اعمل ريفريش للاولاد للانفورميشن اللي هم خدوها، سواء ذا اوثرز بيربس او درس النهارده. ساعات كمان بيجي لي اولاد بينضموا للانترناشونال او للبريتش سكول في مراحل كبيره، فلازم اشرح له الحاجات دي. الطريقه اللي انا شرحت بيها بس هي المراحل صغيره، اللي هي من جريد 1 لغايه جريد 3. اما لو حضرتك بقى هتدرس من اول جريد 4 او من اول يير 4 واب، فهنضم درس المره اللي فاتت لدرس النهارده. تعالوا بقى نشوف درس النهارده. قبل ما نبتدي لازم تكون الليسن بلان بتاعت حضرتك متحضره، لازم تكون مجهز اكتيفيتي. انا عملت بالنسبه لي بحب الدرس ده ببداه بقسم الكلاس بتاعي انتو 4 or 5 جروبس. اي بريفير 5 جروبس، ويا ريت ابقى انا اوير جدا لاولادي احط مين مع مين. يعني حضرتك انت في اي جروب محتاج ليدر، محتاج رايتر، محتاج ريدر. ممكن يكون جاست 1 ريدر اور 2. الليدر لازم يكون انت مختاره فعلا بعنايه، لان هو ده يور اسيستنت في الجروب، كانه لايك ا تيتشر. هو هيقول مثلا مين، ولو حصل مشكله هاو تو هاندل، فلازم تختار حد محبوب فعلا من الجروب. تاني حاجه، الجروب بتاعك لازم يكون مش جاست الهاي اتشيفرز لوحدهم واللو اتشيفرز لوحدهم، وفاجئ ان الولاد خلصوا الاكتيفيتي في 5 دقايق ودولت حبايبي قاعدين. نو، يو هاف تو ميكس. يعني لازم يكون عندي هاي اتشيفرز مع لو اتشيفرز مع ان بتوين. تمام، خلاص قسمت الجروبس. حضرتك مجهز يا اما بوكس يا اما تكست معاك، وكمان ورك شيت. ايه البوكس حضرتك لازم يكونوا الفور مين جانرا. طبعا قبل ما انا تاني ابتدي لازم ابقى اوير برضو وافكر الاولاد يعني ايه جانرا، يعني ايه سب جانرا، وكمان اعمل زي ريفيو كده على درس ذا باي. لو حد يعني ما كانش مركز، او حد كان غايب، او حد لازم من فتره للتانيه لازم اعمل مراجعات بيفور اي، اللي هو الورم اب بيفور اي ستارت. فالورم اب بتاعي متقسم حاجتين: ريفيو ان انا اراجع، تاني حاجه الاكتيفيتي بتاعك. بحط الولاد لازم يدخلوا الكلاس الحاجه تبقى جاهزه، لو انا فيرست سيشن او السيشن بعد بريك. لو انا ان بتوين مفيش مشكله بقى، خلاص يعني اتفق مع المدرس اللي قبليك، لو في بريك مثلا دقيقه او حاجه زي كده تظبط دنيتك وتحط الكتب تبقى جاهزه وتبقى عارف مين هياخد ايه. مفيش مجال الاختيارات عشان ما نضيعش وقت الحصه، انت اوريدي هتقسم البوكس وهي نفس الفكره، ولكن يعني مش عايزين نضيع وقت السيشن. ايه يعني هقسم الكتب ازاي؟ انا عندي فيكشن، عندي نون فيكشن، عندي دراما، انا عندي بوتري. These are the 4 main genres. طيب امال انت قلتي جروب خامس؟ الجروب الخامس لاني عندي النون فيكشن، عندي 2 تايبس، عندي الانفورميشنال وعندي البيرسويسيف. فيا ريت الجروب الخامس يبقى واحد انفورميشنال بوك ودي other one persuasive. ساعات احنا مش بنفهم قوي موضوع البيرسويسيف ان هو فيكشن ولا نون فيكشن، بالذات هو مثلا بوست كارد اور ليتر، ما بنبقاش عارفين ايه ده. فالجروب الخامس هيبقى نون فيكشن، لكن تختار لك توبيك يا اما بيرسويسيف، ممكن بيرسويسيف ليتر او بوست كارد اللي هو يعني يبقى تحت الريكاونت. خلاص قسمنا الشيت بتاع حضرتك. بالنسبه للورك شيت، يير 1 ويير 2 بيبقى معظمه تشويسز، وممكن دروين، ممكن رسومات. يعني مثلا فور اكزامبل وات از ذا تايتل اوف ذا بوك، فهو اوريدي تايتل تشاور له. مثلا the first page كان مكتوب ايه، second page، او مثلا تعمله زي example هو يبدا to refill. year 3 and 4 ممكن طبعا جزء منها بيبقى choices، الجزء الثاني بيبقى اراء، هو لازم يكتب information. 5 واب بقى لا براحتك، بيبقى بندخل into more deeper ما بيبقاش فيه ممكن يعني choices كتيرة. يعني أكتر حاجة ممكن choice اللي هو بيبقى مثلا for example it's all fact or mostly facts or for example fact and opinion ولا mostly opinion ولا all opinion مثلا. يعني لأن ده بيبقى سؤال موجود عندي كمان في امتحانات كامبريدج. لو إن احنا محتاجين الورك شيت تاني ابعتولي write a comment. لو انتوا بتتابعوني على الفيسبوك write a comment وأنا بعت لكم private message باللي انتوا عايزينه. لو انتوا بقى على اليوتيوب يا ريت يعني لايك شير اند سبسكرايب وبرده اكتبوا كومنت باللي انتوا عايزينه وانا هرد عليكم على طول. درس النهارده كبير شويه فاحنا ممكن نقسمه فيكشن او نون فيكشن وبعد كده دراما وبويتري انذر سيشن. لكن تاني لو انا ولادي عارفين الحاجات دي كلها فبالتالي بتبقى جاست وان شوت. ببدا بالاكتيفيتي بلم منهم المعلومات وتو رايت اون ذا بورد اور something like that. بعد كده بدخل على الباوربوينت عشان ناكد المعلومه اللي هم اوريدي جمعوها من الاكتيفيتي اللي انتوا عملتوه في الكلاس. يلا نبدا بقى الدرس. يلا.
Good afternoon or good evening, depends on the time you're watching this. This is Mrs. Mona Ali and today we're going to have a new lesson which is about fiction or non-fiction. That's the question. We need to know what is the meaning of genre. I will give you example through which you can understand. So if I'm going to call my book, you know, is the same like a pet. So if I want to have a pet and I decided to buy or to get a dog, so later on I go to the shop and start to choose which dog, you know, suits me or good for me, which is called type of a dog. So maybe I want a playful dog, so I go for golden retriever. I want a more serious dog, so I go to German Shepherd and etc. Type of a dog called the breed. If this pet animal or the dog is the same like book, so the book has type and type of a book called genre. I think it's became easy now. According to books, I have 4 main genres. Fiction, like that one. My son, when he was young, so young, he used to call this creature the blue cat because he has never seen such a thing. So because it has, you know, ears like cats and the teeth, etc., he called it the blue cat. Then I have non-fiction, poetry, and the last one, drama. Today we are going just to shed the light on fiction and let's see this one. So this one fiction, it looks like the blue cat or the avatar, something I can never find in the real world, a castle in the sky. And this one non-fiction, it's about natural disasters that may happen in the real world. Another example, I like it. It's a funny example. Mr. Arnold was in a movie, The Terminator, and he said at the end of the movie, "Hasta la vista, baby." So he wasn't speaking as Mr. Arnold. He was speaking like, you know, the character in the movie. I have another example. Recently, Mr. Boris Johnson has said the same phrase, the House of Parliament. Hasta la vista, baby, but real word. Let's speak about fiction first. So fiction is all from imagination. Like this book is about a love story. It never happened in the real world, but just a love story. A crime or a giant octopus smashing a ship. So what is fiction? It's a story that is from imagination, fake, not real. Though all of this, we as readers respond to it. So we may cry after a love story and, for example, the man dies, the lover dies. Or we may feel so thrilled after they got married. So the writer made me believe that this is a real story. So that's why we call it make-believe. Features of fiction. How can I know that this book or this movie is not real fiction? So I'll give you another example. When for example, I'm telling you, do you know Joseph? So you don't know Joseph. So I start to describe Joseph for you. Describing his hair, his eyes, his nose, his mouth, special things about his how he looks. So this is what we call features. Same for books. Each genre has features. So features of fiction, characters, and characters answer the question who. I will give you example here. I have a story here, which I have just created. Mr. and Mrs. Doggy, this is a cover book. So once you see this cover, you know that the story is about 2 dogs. And they have love story because of the heart. So my story It's called Mr. and Mrs. Doggy, so these are my main characters. Then I must include or I must mention how they met, where and when. This is about setting. So setting answered the question where and when. So I have Mr. Doggy met a beautiful female dog. Just all came, all of a sudden. They met each other in the park in the early morning. So this is called the setting. But the story hasn't started yet. I just mentioned who and where. But there is no story here. This is what I call plot. So plot tells me what happened. What is the story about? So I must have beginning, middle, and end. So let me tell you my story. So Mr. Doggy met a beautiful female dog in the park in the early morning. He fell in love with her. And once he saw her, he decided to marry her. And he did. Few months after marriage, they got 20 puppies. Mr. Doggy could not believe it. Just a few months ago, he was a lover. Now he's a father to 20 puppies. He couldn't take it, so he ran away, leaving Mrs. Doggy all alone, so sad. But deeply inside, she knew that he will come back again. She never lost hope. And yes, we have a happy ending. So Mr. Doggy, at the end, he felt that he was mistaken and he shouldn't do this. He shouldn't leave her all alone, and he came back, said sorry, and they lived happily ever after. So this is what I call plot. So the story now is done. If this is all, I still have something. Even after all of this, the writer wants to tell me something through this story. It's not just a story, yes, to entertain me, but at the same time, he wants to tell me something. For example, I guess that the message here that he is trying to tell us that love is totally different from family life. So he's shedding light the responsibilities after marriage, and marriage, family is totally different from just a love story. So this is called message, or we call it theme. So theme is the main topic or message in a story. I may have more than one theme. This is all about fiction. Let's go to nonfiction. What is nonfiction? As we have seen through the first slides, that fiction is the opposite of nonfiction. So nonfiction is information that is true, real, based on facts. So they are not fake. Examples, newspaper, through newspaper, I know what happened in the real world. Dictionaries, encyclopedias. What are the features of nonfiction? First, I must have table of contents, glossary, index, headings, subheadings, bold print, photographs or real pictures, charts, graphs, maps, captions, facts, and opinions. I have other features, but these are the most important ones. Let's start with content page. What is the meaning of content page? Look at that one. This is a real content page. As you can see, it's about sharks, about sea creatures, especially sharks. I have 11 chapters, title of a chapter, and a number on the opposite side. I can guess that this is the chapter, the title, and this is the page number where I can find this chapter. So if I want to read Why Sharks Matter, which is chapter 11, I will go to page 103. So content page is a page I can find at the beginning of the book, and the reader can find the topics or chapter that he wants to read, and where he can find them, which is a page number. Since the writer is speaking about real things, he needs to show it to the reader. For example, I live in a city, so he's writing a book about volcanoes. I have never seen a volcano or mountains or islands before, so he needs to show it to me. This is the job of the photographs and other things. So photographs, I will find it on the cover page or throughout the book, just through which the writer helps the reader to see or to prove to the reader that what he speaks about is real. Also, he can include charts, graphs, and maps, the same like real pictures. So this is a chart, a graph and this is a map. So he speaks about sharks, and I don't know if I live here in Egypt or any other country. I don't know if I have sharks, for example, or I'm speaking about whale sharks. So do we have whale sharks here in Egypt? So he needs to show this on the map to show me where whale sharks exist or live. To give me more explanation, he sometimes, most of the times actually, writes something called caption, and caption is just a few words or sentences explain what a picture, chart, graph or map is about, and we can find it near the chart, graph or photograph he is explaining. Example, I have here a picture of a creature and I don't know what is this creature, so he helped me through writing a caption. So index, the same like glossary, it goes in alphabetical order, but it doesn't have any definitions, no meanings, just a topic and page number. Why? Let's see. So it's a page, index is a page at the end of the book in which the important words or topics are listed in alphabetical order. Why this? For example, I have a book, 1,000-page book, and it's all about whales and sharks. I'm not interested in all the types of whales and sharks. I just want whale shark and, for example, white shark. So I go to the index, I go to letter W, then I go to WH, and I find, once I find whale shark or white shark, I will find the page numbers. So the number that you have just seen now, it was a page number of the topic, so I just go to these pages and read what I want to read for my research or for my, just if I want to read these information. Okay, so it saves time to the reader. It saves the reader's time not to read 1,000 pages. He will just go to 4 or 5 pages just to read all the information that he wants. So this is all about fiction and non-fiction. Hope that this information helped you. Now I have a very nice exercise that you can do in your class. So I have here some books here. Okay, 6 books. You can ask your students just to look at the cover page and determine if this is fiction or non-fiction. So I will just make the first 2 for you. This is called Diary of Wimpy Kid. I guess that all of us know this book. And I have here comic. It looks like comic book because these are cartoons. So yes, it's a novel. Novel means a big story, so it's fiction. The second example is called Turtles, and from the name it doesn't attract the reader a lot. And I have a real picture of a turtle, so I guess this one, it's a non-fiction book. And you can go through all the other 4, and as I said before in explaining the activities, you can bring real books, which is much better. بكده انا خلصت الدرس. اتمنى ان هو يكون عجبكم، ويا ريت نعمل شير لايك سبسكرايب زي ما قلت لكم. لو انتوا عايزين اي ريسورس، اي ورك شيت، اكتب لي كومنت لو انت على الفيس او على اليوتيوب، وانا هبعت لكم اللي انتوا عايزينه في برايفت مسج. لو في عندكم اي مقترحات، حاجات نشرحها او حاجات نتكلم عنها، يا ريت انا هتكلم عنها على طول. معكم منى علي، اشوفكم المره الجايه ان شاء الله في نيو ليسن. باي باي.